I'm Diana Feldstone for FoxNews.com. Travel Channel's news show, Breaking Borders, doesn't show off pristine beaches or clear blue water. Instead, it shows chef Michael Voltaggio and Peabody Award-winning correspondent Mariana Zeller as they visit conflict zones around the world. The goal? To put aside differences and share a great meal. And Michael and Mariana are with me in studio to discuss. Welcome.
Thank you, Diana.
So why conflict zones?
Well, this concept was actually created by a Norwegian journalist. She created it for Norwegian television. They called it Dining with the Enemy there. And then Travel Channel bought the format and brought it to the United States. And they hired the two of us lucky ducks to go around the world.
She brings me along to cook. I'm just like, I'm her personal chef.
You're hired help.
They're all over the world now, yeah. Every journalist has a private chef now, so.
Really?
Yeah.
This one does.
I should look.
And I have the best of them all too, which is him.
Of course. Now, when you were visiting all different locations, was there one place you visited that you were extremely surprised by?
I think every single one of them.
Yeah, I mean, we're surprised every time we arrive anywhere new. I mean, that's the power of travel, is that you're going to go and see and experience and feel something new everywhere you go. But we've been to Sri Lanka, Kashmir, Rwanda.
Cyprus, Bosnia.
I mean, we were with gorillas in Rwanda, like walking up in the mountains with wild gorillas.
Yeah, we've done incredible things.
But
I think what's surprising is that our goal, the challenges are very high for this show, right? Our goal is basically to put together at a dinner table people who don't really like each other, who have completely different viewpoints. In some situations, people who essentially try to kill each other's side. That happened in Northern Ireland. So a lot of people that don't like each other, there's enormous tension.
Yes.
But one thing I think that surprises us in every single one of these meals is that partly because of Michael's amazing cuisine, but also the power of conversation, that something always happens that as heated as the debate can get, towards the end of every meal, people can sort of find some common ground, something that, the power of conversation.
Starting
really
with
happens.
Sitting down at the dinner table together, and I think that's like a forgotten ritual that we could all use a little bit of reminder every now and then. Like, sit down at the table and have a conversation.
Was it difficult to even get people from opposing sides in different conflict zones to even want to sit down? Was that a fight in itself?
I mean, I think that certainly that's more part of her job, but for me, it's about getting the food on the table, but her ability to get everyone at the table, but to get them to stay at the table and feel comfortable enough to communicate with each other. She does a great job facilitating that, and I just try and make sure there's enough salt and pepper on the meat,
Cuisine really does bring people together, and a lot of the time when you have opposing sides of different conflicts of different countries, what's one commonality with the cuisine that you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that is amazing, though, I have to say, is that here I am. Usually I'm by myself with all these guests while Michael is finishing cooking all these fabulous dishes.
Doing all the work.
Incredible. By himself in a country that he's never cooked in, ingredients he's never cooked, with no help. He's in the kitchen, and he brings out these incredible presentations of outstanding meal that blows our minds every single time. And as soon as the food is on the table and people start trying these dishes, as tense as the atmosphere is, that's all they need for them to sort of understand that they have something that they can share in common, and it just makes the conversation so much easier.
I think the commonality for me as we go through this journey is that I try and put myself into these cultures, these environments, these places that we go to, and I try and learn how to cook the local cuisine as much as I can. So in each episode, I don't show up and cook Michael Voltaggio food. I show up and cook the food that I've been exposed to, the stories.
You're almost like a food anthropologist. You're
immersing
yourself into the environment and then becoming one.
Well, I almost feel like I owe that to them because they're sharing their stories with us. And so for me to be able to take all that in and then give back a part of myself, really the only thing I can share is the cuisine that I prepare. And so my story is being told, my journey for that week and our journey together is being told through each plate that I put on the table. And that's my opportunity to do that.
He puts his heart and soul into every single one of these meals.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, that is an extension of your heart and soul in food and also just enjoying. But was there any moments that you thought to yourself, this is really scary, this could make a serious wrong turn?
Not so much scary. We take a lot of safety precautions before we go to any of these places, and obviously the most important thing is our safety and the safety of everybody involved. But I would say that there have been challenging situations where guests haven't shown up, where we had to go and look for guests last minute, or where people have threatened to leave the table. People have actually stood up and almost left. But we've had a pretty incredible success rate where we've managed to stay everybody at the table until the end. And the response has been amazing. The feedback that we get from people, just how important it has been for them to share their stories.
How close are we now to world peace because of this show?
I don't think we're close to world peace. I mean, that would be great, you know, if that worked. But we certainly wouldn't be able to take credit for it. But maybe a little bit more awareness about what's going on around the world and how people are affected by it. Not just what you see on the news, but certainly how the people are actually affected in each area, and what are their stories and what are their experiences, and what is past the front lines, what's happening beyond the front lines.
Yeah.
What is the biggest takeaway that you've both gotten from this experience, Michael?
Just the importance of communication, sitting down at the table and listening, and the ability to forgive. I mean, that's something that we're starting to see everywhere, and I'm so inspired by that, and just taking that back to my own life is important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you couldn't have said it better. It's such a simple concept, which is conversation, and also this idea of forgiveness that we keep hearing almost in a lot, not almost all, but in a lot of these places like Rwanda, Northern Ireland, where people experienced real, violence, and yet they're sitting down and their message is about forgiveness. It's pretty incredible.
Forgiveness and food and world issue awareness, all at the dinner table.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us today. And check out Breaking Borders, premiering March 15th on the Travel Channel. Thanks for watching. I'm Diana Falzone.